Hello everyone, this is Ravindra Dundra and welcome to my channel. In this lecture, we are going to discuss about class 9th CBSE Economics, chapter number 2, that is People as Resource. In the previous lectures about this chapter, we have discussed about this economic activities done by men and women. In that, we have discussed mainly about this primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector, and also we have discussed about market activities as well as non-market activities. So now, in continuation with that, the next topic which we are going to discuss is about the quality of population. What do you mean by this quality of population? What factors will decide whether a country's population is having good quality or not? So let us see in detail about this quality of population. So the factors which are responsible for this quality of population can be mainly, one is literacy rate, or we can also see the education, then health, or you can also say it in the form of life expectancy rate. Then the third one is skill formation, which we can also call it as this employment status. So these three factors will decide whether a country's population is having good quality or not. What are those? Education, health, as well as this employment status. So in detail we will discuss about this education, health, as well as this skill formation. But before that, let me tell you what do you mean by this literacy rate. Literacy rate means any person who is 7 or above 7 years of age who can read and write at least in one language, we can consider them as a literate person. Then the next thing is this life expectancy rate, which means average number of years a person can live at the time of birth, expected average number of years where a person can live at the time of birth. So that is what this life expectancy rate. In detail we will discuss later, and first what we will do is that we will discuss about this education. And very important thing is this quality of population decides the growth rate of a country. That means if the quality is very good in any country, where the education is good, life expectancy is good, skill formation is good, means automatically there will be a more growth in that country. So in detail how they contribute towards the growth of the country we will see, starting with this education. You all know that education is one of the very important factor in our life. As you have seen the story of Sakal as well as Vilas. What happened with the story of Sakal? We have seen that he got a very good job, he was educated, he is getting good salary, and his family is like very well settled. Not only that, Sakal's family, whoever is very well educated in the country, their family or their status will be somewhat very high and they can earn more profits. At the same time, it is not only benefit for one's own individual, it is also benefit for this entire society. So that's what here they say education contributes towards the growth of a society. That means it is not only helpful to an individual, but it is helpful to the society. How it is helpful? It is helpful because it enhances national income. That means it adds to the national income. So suppose a person is educated, he will get a job, he is contributing some service to the country. Automatically national income will increase. At the same time, it also provides this cultural richness. That means you can find a well behavior manner of this educated people. Then the same time, efficiency of the governance. Efficiency means within very short time or within very quicker time we can complete or we can do more and more work, and government can complete more and more works very quicker. So these are some of the benefits because of this education. But whose responsibility is that? Who can provide this education is that there is some provision for improving the education in the country. Provision means special rights are there to improve the quality of this education. How? By improving this quality. The second thing is universal access to the education. So quality is very important. Government should improve the quality of the education. At the same time, it should also ensure that it is accessible to everyone, no matter poor or rich or middle class, whoever it may be. It should be accessed by every person. Every child in the country should have the access to this education, at least the elementary education. Then final thing is special focus on girls. as we have seen since centuries onwards, girls or women were facing lot of discrimination when it comes to the education. Therefore, government is also specially focusing on these girls. So let us now see what are the various steps taken by the government in improving this quality of this education, universal access to the education, and how it has also enhanced the special focus on these girls. Let us see some of the schemes or various steps taken by the government in order to improve these education facilities in the country. So starting with this, first one is that setting schools like Navodaya Vidyalayas in each and every district. As you all know, or most of you might be knowing, that in each and every district of this country you can find there is one centralized central government Navodaya Vidyalaya, or it is also known with the other name Jawahar Navodaya Vidyalaya. So all these Navodaya schools were set up to mainly focus on the rural education of the children, and I am very proudly to say that I am also one of the student of this Navodaya Vidyalayas. So like me, there are many other students or many other people in the country who are benefited because of these schools such as Navodaya Vidyalayas. But there is one state in which you cannot find this Navodaya Vidyalayas. It is Tamil Nadu state. So I'll give you a question, or please post it in the comment section, why Tamil Nadu state is not having this Navodaya Vidyalayas. Then coming to this other thing, the government has also started this vocational streams in various sections. Maybe you can take various courses such as computers, as we have seen the Sakal story where he opted vocational. In that he learned about these computers. So like this, there were many vocational streams that were developed by the government in order to improve the skills as well as knowledge of the people. And if you have skill and knowledge, you can have the capacity to get a job. And not only this, when it comes to this first 5-year plan, the government was spending 151 crores of rupees on the education. Right now, once we got this when we got this independence in the year 1947, after that in the year 1950, the government has set up something known as this planning commission, where for each and every 5 years we used to have certain goals, and those goals will be achieved within these 5 years. So in that, the first 5-year plan, how much money they have spent on this education, it was 151 crore rupees. And the next 5-year plan, that means the 11th 5-year plan, it has been spending 3,766.90 crores. That means you can see the improvement from first 5-year plan to this 11th 5-year plan. How much improvement you can see in the spending money on this education. Of course, now this planning commission is replaced by the other organization in the country, that is Niti Aayog. So find out some of the details about this Niti Aayog and put it in the comment section. Then the next thing is that when it comes to this share of GDP, that means GDP means gross domestic product, which you learn much about in your higher standards. But as of now, just you see GDP, how much the government is spending money in this education as a share of GDP. It is during this 1951 and 52, that means during the first 5-year plan time, the GDP share in education was only 0.64%. And now today, that means 2015 and 16, the government was spending something around 3% of GDP. That means you can see a lot of improvement in spending of this money on this education. And because of this, you can see, since there is an improvement in money which has been spent on this education, because of that you can see the literacy rate has also increased in the country from 18% in 1951 during the initial stage of this independence, and now at present it is 74. That means you can see a lot of improvement that can be found in this literacy rate. And this 74 is according to 2010 and 11. So for every 10 years, you all know, they count this literacy rate or population, which we also call it as this census. So according to 2011 census, the literacy rate of India is 74%. That means out of every 100 people, 74 people in the country are educated. But we cannot generalize it throughout the country. Why? Because it varies in different sections of the society. How, for example, you take between male and female. Here male literacy rate is somewhere around 16.6% more than this female literacy rate. That means male education or male literacy levels are very higher compared to this female literacy rates. Then the next thing is between the states also. There are some states where the literacy rate is very high, and there are some states where the literacy rate is very low. For example, you take this Kerala. The literacy rate of this Kerala is 94%, whereas states such as this Bihar, it is just only 62%. So that means overall throughout the country's average literacy rate is 74%, but it may vary from different sections of the society, maybe between men and women, or maybe between the states. So next we can see other steps taken by the government to improve this education levels in the country. The other steps taken by the government to improve this education is, one of the very important step was that it is this Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. Hope on every government school you might have seen this symbol saying that Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan. What it says is that to provide this elementary education to all the children who are in the age group of 6 to 14 years. It may be any place in India. If the children are in between the age group from 6 to 14 means it is compulsory that they are supposed to attend the school only. So that is what the main aim of this Sarva Shiksha Abhiyan, providing the elementary education to all the children. This is one of the very important step taken by the government to improve this education levels. And not only that, the government has also started something known as this midday meal scheme. That means in the afternoon time, the schools itself will provide the food to the children. What is the main aim is that usually in the government schools, especially in rural areas, what children will do is that in the afternoon time, when they go to their home for lunch, usually they will not come back to the school on the afternoon session. Therefore, to retain the students in the school, to encourage them to study in the school even in the afternoon times, and to improve the attendance ratio in the country and the schools, what government has started is that the government has started something known as this midday meal scheme. That means if the government can provide food to the children in the afternoon means at least the attendance will be improved in the schools. So that is one of the main important reason why government has started this midday meal scheme. And the first state to start this midday meal scheme, it was this Tamil Nadu, the first state in the country to start this midday meal scheme. And not only this, there are some other steps were also taken by the government. What is that? After the 12th 5-year plan, the government has planned to raise country's gross enrollment ratio. That means some children or some students after their higher secondary education, maybe after 10th class or plus 2, what they'll do is that they'll drop out from schools or colleges. So the 12th 5-year plan has started focusing more on improving this gross enrollment ratio of the people or the students who are in the age group from 18 to 23, and to make them to attend this educational institutions. And what it also aims that it aims to improve this higher education levels from up to 25.2% by the year 2017 and 18, and this target to be reached to 30% by 2020 and 21. That means the gross enrollment ratio, number of students attending the higher education institutions after completing their 10th or plus 2. So that percentage government has decided to increase in the 12th 5-year plan. And not only that, the plan also focuses on mainly on this distance education What do you mean by this distance education? Some people may not be directly attending the classes, they'll just go and directly this write these exams. We can also call sometimes it as something open education. And this plan also focuses on something this ITI, hope you all know, Industrial Technical Institute. Like this, there are many other vocational courses are also there under this distance education. So the government in the 12th 5-year plan, it has decided to improve this gross enrollment ratio, at the same time to focus on this distance education. So these are some of the important steps taken by the government in order to improve the quality or improve the focus on girls, at the same time in order to make universal access to the people regarding this education. And you can see the very big changes have made in this country from over the past 50 years. That means from 1950 to this at present 2020, you can take a lot of changes occurred in the country in this education system. And you can see number of educational institutions have been increased, colleges have been increased, schools have been increased, at the same time universities also increased. So from this, what we can conclude is that over the past 50 years, the education levels, the quality of the education has been increasing as well as improving day by day. In the next lecture, we will discuss about this health of this country. Thank you.